What up, Golden Boy here, and I'm so excited for the reveal of Call of Duty World War II, the latest from Sledgehammer Games. I'm excited personally because not many people know this, but I come from Call of Duty 2. That was the first Call of Duty that I picked up when I got my Xbox 360 for the first time, and honestly, it holds a special place in my heart, so I am extra excited for this game. Now, for those of you who are watching, well, you know, I'm sure you guys have a list of things that you want to see in this next game. Well, I took it upon myself to go ahead and break down what I would like to see in the upcoming Call of Duty game. So without further ado, here is Golden Boy's wish list for Call of Duty World War II. First, and I think this is the obvious one, boots on ground. It's no surprise that people aren't really feeling the jetpack gameplay. It's just a little bit too much. And if you happen to catch my latest video, The Misadventures of Golden Boy Episode 3, I play Call of Duty Infinite Warfare for the first time, kind of, sort of. I played the beta a little bit, and it was the struggle. I mean, I was getting just absolutely blasted by people who had these guns that would bounce on walls, the bullets bounced on walls, and they had different versions of the gun, and some were stronger, and it was just not very fun. So I really hope that we can get a boots on ground core experience again that made Call of Duty fantastic to begin with, while still implementing things that, you know, I think Activision would like, you know, of course, but they would like to profit on, which is something that you saw in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. So with that being said, boots on ground, super important for me, and I think it's kind of a given with the theme of the game being in World War II. I don't think there were any jetpacks in World War II. Let's hope that's not the case. Now, another thing in my list is 3-lane maps. I want 3-lane maps to return. You do have 3-lane maps in all the Call of Duty games, but I'm talking about the traditional 3-lane maps. Obviously, with the jetpack games, you had to keep in consideration the wall running and all that stuff. I really just want to see that classic approach to maps being created once again, similar to what we saw in Black Ops 1, right? Black Ops 1 was one of my favorite Call of Duty games because of the map design, and I think a game like Call of Duty World War II, with the, I would say, the advances that they've made in the design of Call of Duty, I think this actually could work out really, really well for Call of Duty World War II. So I would like to see a traditional 3-lane maps make that return in glorious fashion with awesome cutoffs and good locations to be able to hold off and you know, play search and destroy, and really I guess game types that work in these 3-lane maps as well. I think that's another thing that we have to keep in mind here. I want to see Hardpoint make a return, CTF make a return. Obviously, we're going to have search and destroy there as well. So those are going to be very, very important for me. And how uplink would work here, I really don't know, but I would also like to see the return of war. So maybe we'll get that one. Now, another thing I would like to see in Call of Duty World War II would be a simplified gun system. I don't want no modded or imbalanced weapons. Please, please, Sledgehammer. I know it was something that you introduced in Advanced Warfare, but guys, I really don't want to see that again. It ruins the experience. I touched on it before, but when I first played Infinite Warfare, I was getting destroyed by this one gun that was just so unbelievably powerful, and there was really no way for me to combat it as a new player. I hope that we see, and this kind of goes into my next point, a system similar to Modern Warfare Remastered, where it's more about getting cool camos, and maybe you add a couple more things in there, like charms or whatnot, similar to what we see in Rainbow Six Siege. I would like that instead of there being these crazy modified guns. Take a page out of Overwatch's book and don't add anything that changes the gameplay. Just give us cool aesthetic stuff, and I think people would still support whatever it is that you guys are putting out there. Another major thing that I would like to see is a focus on more of the European combat that took place in World War II. Rather than you go back to World at War's approach, which took place in the Asian battlefields of, you know, in Japan and whatnot, I would really like to see us go back to the European battlefields, right? I think those maps were fantastic in Call of Duty 2, and I think that they'll play very, very well in 2017. And this goes back to what I was talking about with the 3-lane maps. In COD 2, it just worked so well. How you played CTF on those games, how you played Search and Destroy, and I'm sure with Hardpoint it will be equally as fun. Black Ops 2 proved that. Treyarch has always been fantastic about these 3-lane maps, and I know that with Sledgehammer we only really have AW to go off of, and I'm not really a fan of any map from Advanced Warfare, so this is a big opportunity for Sledgehammer to show that they can crush it with map design. So I'm going to be looking very, very closely here to see what is the theme and what they shoot for, and it seems like they are going to go for the European theater for all the action that took place over there. So I'm hoping that we get maps that fit that same style with what we saw in Call of Duty 2 and, you know, to a lesser extent what we saw in World at War and Black Ops 2, but obviously in that aesthetic, in that theme in Europe. And finally, one of the major things that I want, most importantly, I think this kind of jumbles everything together, is keep to the core that makes Call of Duty awesome. It's so important, and I felt like Call of Duty has lost its way in the last 3 games. It's not the same game that I grew up playing, and I feel like this is an opportunity to really bring that back, to bring back that feeling of just being able to get a double out of nowhere, or 2-piece or 3-piece, you know, because it was your ability, because you were able to make it happen. Those are things that I want to see again, rather than like, oh, I was able to make this happen because I had a weapon that gave me that advantage over everyone else. I really, really, really hope that we can go back to the core of Call of Duty, and I think people would really appreciate it. It's going to be a challenge. I'm hoping that Sledgehammer is up to the task. And that's going to do it for me. I want to know in the comment section down below what you guys would like to see in Call of Duty World War II. I'm excited. The release is going to be in a little while at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That would be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be looking very keenly for that, and I'm sure all of you will be as well. If you happen to like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, ask them what they want to see in the upcoming Call of Duty World War II made by Sledgehammer Games. And if you happen to like the channel, please subscribe. It's free, so there's no harm in doing it. I'm having a good time making videos again. I've been enjoying it, so I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying it as well. And once the reveal happens, we'll be sure to just dive into every single detail of Call of Duty World War II, as well as taking a look at how it could affect esports. That's right, because, you know, I'm Golden Boy after all, and I gotta talk about esports because that's my bread and butter. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and as always, keep on winning. Peace.